Morning, children. Today we are going to learn a new lesson called quality. Okay. Before you read, class 7. Can a shoemaker be called an artist? Yes. If he has the same skill and pride in his trade as any other artist, and the same respect for it too. Mr. Gessler, a German shoemaker settled in London, is a perfect artist. Okay? Read this story to see how he devotes his life to his art. So let's come to the lesson named Quality. Okay? I knew him from the days of my extreme youth because he made my father's boots. He lived with his elder brother in his shop, which was in a small by street in a fashionable part of London. This shop had a certain quiet distinction. There was no sign upon it other than the name of Gessler Brothers, and in the window a few pairs of boots. He made only what was ordered, and what he made never failed to fit. To make boots, such boots as he made, seemed to me seemed to me then, and still seems to me, mysterious and wonderful. I remember well my shy remarks one day while stretching out to him my youthful foot. Isn't it awfully hard to do, Mr. Gessler? And his answer, given with a sudden smile from out of the redness of his beard, I would, is an art. It is an art. It was not possible to give him very often. Okay, his boots lasted terribly. Having something, having something beyond the temporary, some essence of good stitched into them. One went in, not as into most shops, but restfully, as one enters a church and sitting on the single wooden chair waited, a guttural sound and the tip tap of his slippers hitting the narrow wooden stairs, and he would stand before one without coat, a little bent in leather apron, with sleeves turned back, blinking, as if awakened from some dreams of boots. And I would say, how do you do, Mr. Gessler? Could you make me a pair of Russian leather boots? Without a word, he would leave me retiring whence he came or into the other portion of the shop, and I would continue to rest in the wooden chair in hauling the essence of his trade. Soon he would come back holding in his hand a piece of gold brown leather. Why, with eyes fixed on it, he would remark, "What a beautiful piece!" When I too had admired it, he would speak again. "When do you want them?" And I would answer, "Oh, as soon as you conveniently can." And he would say, "Tomorrow for the night, tomorrow fortnight." Or if he were his elder brother, "I will ask my brother." Then I would murmur, "Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Gessler." "Good morning," he would reply, still looking at the leather in his hand. And as I moved to the door, I would hear the tip tap of his slippers going up the stairs to his dream of boots. I cannot forget that day on which I had occasions to say to him, "Mr. Gessler, that last pair of boots creaked you now." He looked at me for a time without replying, as if expecting me to withdraw or qualify the statement, then said, "I would should not have creaked. It did, I am afraid. I am afraid. You got them wet before they found themselves." "I don't think so." And that he lowered his eyes as if hunting for memory of those boots, and I felt sorry I had mentioned this grave thing. "Think them black, bend them back," he said. "I will look at them. I will look at them." Zoom buds He continued slowly, are bad from birth. If I can do nodding with them, I take them off your bill. Once only, I went absent-mindedly into his shop in a pair of boots bought in an emergency at some large firm. He took my order without showing me any leather, and I could feel his eyes penetrating the inferior covering of my foot. At last he said, "Those are not my boots." The tone was not one of anger nor of sorrow, not even of contempt. There was in it something quiet that froze the blood. He put his hand down and pressed a finger on the place where the left boot was not quite comfortable. "It puts you there," he said. "Does big worms have no self-respect?" And then, as if something had given away within him, he spoke long and bitterly. It was the only time I ever heard him discuss the conditions and hardships of his trade. "They get it all," he said. "They get it by advertisement, not by work. They take it away from us. To loaf our boots, it gongs to dispresently, I have no work. Every year it gets less, you will see." And looking at his lined face, I saw things I had never noticed before, bitter things and bitter struggle, and what a lot of grey hairs there seemed suddenly in his red beard. As best as I could, I explained the circumstances of those ill-omened boots, but his face and voice made so deep an impression that during the next few minutes I ordered many pairs. They lasted longer than ever, and I was not able to go to him for nearly 2 years. It was many months before my next visit to his shop. This time I appeared to be his elder brother, handling a piece of leather. "Well, Mr. Gessler," I said, "how are you?" He came close and peered at me. "I am pretty well," he said slowly, "but my elder brother is dead." And I saw that it was indeed himself, but how aged and worn. And never before had I heard him mention his brother. Much shocked, I murmured, "Oh, I am sorry." "Yes," he answered, "he was a good man. He made a good boot. He is dead. He is dead." And he touched the top of his head, where the hair had suddenly gone, and as thin as it had been on that of his poor brother, to indicate, I suppose, the cause of his death. "Do you want any boats?" And he held up the leather in his hand. "It is a beautiful piece. I ordered several pairs. It was very long before they came, but they were better than ever. One simply could not wear them out, and soon after that I went abroad. It was over a year before I was again in London, and the first shop I went to was my old friend's. I had left a man of 60. I came back to one of 75, pinched and worn, who genuinely this time did not at first know me. "Do you want any boots?" he said. "I can make them quickly." "It is a slack dime. It is a slack dime," I answered. "Please, please, I want boots all around, every kind." I had given those boots up, and one evening they came. One by one I tried them on in shape and fit, in finish and quality of leather. They were the best he had ever made. I flew downstairs, wrote a check, and posted it at once with my own hands. A week later, passing the little street, I thought I would go in and tell him how splendidly the new boots fitted. But when I came to where his shop had been, his name was gone. I went in very much disturbed, in the shop, there was a young man with an English face. Mr. Gessler in, I said. No, sir, he said. No, but we can attend to anything with pleasure. We have taken the shop over. Yes, yes, I said, but Mr. Gessler. Oh, he answered dead. Dead, but I only received these boots from him last Wednesday week. Ah, he said. Poor old man starved himself. Slow starvation, the doctor called it. You see, he went to work in such a way, would keep the shop on, wouldn't have a soul touch his boots except himself. When he got an order, it took him such a time. People won't wait. He lost everybody, and there he would sit, going on and on. I will say that for him, not a man in London made a better boot. But look at the competition. He never advertised. Would you have the best leather too and do it all himself? Well, there it is. What could you expect with his idea but starvation? That may be a bit flowery, as the saying is, but I know myself. He was sitting over his boots day and night. To the very last, you see, I used to watch him. Never gave him time to eat. Never had a penny in the house. All went in rent and leather. He will live. How he lived so long, I don't know. He regularly let his fire go out. He was a character, but he made good boots. Yes, I said he made good boots. John Glassworthy, simplified and abridged. Let's know about the poem Chivi. Okay, before we read, ask yourself as well as your partner, do you like to be always told what to do or not to do? Do grown-ups do this in your experience? When Michael was 5 years old, his mother took him to a nearby school for admission. The teacher asked, what does your mother call you at home, child? Michael, don't. Michael, don't, came the confident reply. No, to chivi is to nag. To continuously urge someone to do something often in an annoying way, according to the dictionary. Read the poem now. Grown-ups say things like speak up, don't talk with your mouth full, don't stare, don't point, don't pick your nose. Sit up, say please, less noise, shut the door behind you, don't drag your feet. Haven't you got a hanky? Take your hands out of your pockets. Pull your socks up, stand up straight, sat, say thank you, don't interrupt, no one thinks you are funny. Take your elbows off the table. Can't you make your own mind up about anything else? By Michael Rosen. This is, I hope you enjoyed the lesson and poem. We'll see in the next class. See you then. Bye bye.